мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
A week after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, we have with us Illia Razumeiko and Roman Grygorov, both of whom are composers and performers from Ukraine. Both of them have been, have been winners of the have been laureates of the Shevchenko National Art Prize, which is one of the most prestigious awards in Ukraine. Illia and Roman, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for doing this. I hope both of you are safe. Olga as well. I hope all three of you are safe. Illia, I wanted to know from you first up, how are things back in Ukraine? What things are you doing to stay safe?
Yeah, so we personally are relatively safe because at the first day of bombing of the attack on Kyiv, our capital, we are evacuating us and Roma family to the western Ukraine, to West Ukraine. So we have some near the city. We have some battles with the airstrikes, and at some hours we must go into the bomb shelter. But in compared to the situation in Kyiv and in Kharkiv and where Russia are doing all these horrible war crimes, we are relatively safe.
Illia, I wanted to understand from you. Obviously, you mentioned that you've moved out of Kyiv as soon as the airstrikes and the bombing started. What have you been hearing from people back in Kyiv about how bad things are right now?
So there are a lot of people still in Kyiv. So the Kyiv is maybe has 5 million population, and now some of them is evacuating, but still there are, I don't know, 2 or 3 million people is there, and there are a lot of normal people and civilians and artists that stay in city, and they don't to leave the city, even if they are not soldiers, and even if they don't have guns, but they say that we must stay in the city, and this is impossible that somebody is taking our city. So the spirit of the city is impossible high. It's impossible to, yes, you can do only one thing really. You can destroy the city with nuclear power. Only this. With any other weapons, it's absolutely impossible now to do, because every citizens, every man, every human, every man, every woman of Kyiv will fight against this war and against this Russian genocide. Yes.
I also wanted to understand, I'm assuming you still have friends and family back in Kyiv. Have you been talking to them? What have they been telling you about how bad progressively things have become?
Yes, we are talking with them. It was really hard the first 4 days, because you know that the official plan of Putin was to force Ukraine to capitulate in 3 days. And this doesn't happen, and this is impossible to happen. And then the military plan of Putin is failed, and this everybody said this. And now the city is facing the large humanitarian crisis, because this is something that didn't happen, in the world since the Second World War, the invasion of such a big cities like Kharkiv has more than 1 million population, Kyiv has 5 million population. So we are now at the beginning of the huge, really humanitarian crisis creating with Russian war criminals.
Illia, I wanted to understand from you. You've lived in Kyiv for a long while. You worked there. Before the war, can you just tell us a little bit about what kind of a city it was? Obviously, you've obviously given a bit of a glimpse into the character of the city when you say that, you know, a lot of people, they are not going to fight, but they are not going to leave the city as well. They don't have guns, but their way of fighting is staying in the city and taking a stand, you know, in a way. So that obviously paints a character, but I also wanted to understand what are your memories of the city and what is the character of the city like?
You know, Kyiv is the ancient city. Kyiv is 105,000 years old. And we know this, that this is our city, and this is the symbol of Ukraine. And we didn't give up the city. You know, even there is a lot of war analytics which say that Hitler lose the war, World War, during his battle around Kyiv. So Kyiv was occupied, but Hitler lose the war already in 1941 in this battle about Kyiv. So, and now we are facing the Russian Nazis, also Russian Nazis regime, and we didn't give up, not our city, not our freedom, and not our country. It's absolutely impossible. Yes, now with modern technology, it's impossible just to destroy the city with nuclear bomb. We know it all technically that it's possible, but provocation. But our people don't afraid nuclear aggression and provocation by this beach.
I wanted to understand, Ilya, or maybe even Roman can answer this. What are your memories of the city per se? In times when it was not under attack from Russia, what are your happiest memories of the city?
Окей. Портрет міста Києва до війни був, за кілька днів до війни був досить напружений, а так взагалі це наше місто, наш ну, не просто там наше місто і наш дім. Це місце нашої сили, творчої сили, де ми створювали всі наші опери, всі наші проекти, і найуспішніші проекти були створені саме в центрі Києва.
This is our place of power, yeah, where we were working, where we were creating, where we created all our opera. So it was like in center of Kyiv. So this is for us like center of power.
Yeah, you know, Kyiv was and will be. We hope Kyiv is very multinational. Kyiv has no racism. We have a lot of students. We have a lot of Indian students.
Yes. In my home,
yeah.
Ну, в моєму під'їзді, живуть.
Yeah, even Roma has neighbors who were Indian students in his house.
І вони кажуть, добрий вечір.
Yeah.
In Ukrainian.
They speak Ukrainian, not Russian. Yeah, and they're coming for us to study. And we have a lot of Russians. We have a lot of Belarusians. We have a lot of students from
China,
from India, from China, very big community from Saudi Arabia, and so on and so on. And it's absolutely impossible. We have no racism, no nationalism. It's very peaceful, and it's absolutely safe city. You can walk, I don't know, in 3 p.m. in the night in some very I don't know, far away from the center, and it's absolutely safe for you, or for if you are even not Ukrainian. Yeah.
So that is what I was trying to understand from you. What was life like in Kyiv when there was no, none of this was happening?
It was big, peaceful European city, very fast growing. So with a lot of new apartments, with a lot of new apartments and buildings, all possible kinds, social, cheap and luxury, and new all possible kind of developments for big city, new restaurants, new festivals, new concerts, a lot of, I don't know, European stars coming to us playing concerts, of course, before COVID restriction and so on and so on. So it's like very fast growing European city, which is developing.
My question for Ilya would be, you were just talking about how Kyiv is also the cultural center of Ukraine. I would want to know, Ilya, how does the cultural community in today's, when everybody is sort of uncertain what Ukraine would be from I mean, in the wake of this war, I just want to know, how would the cultural community, or probably if you're conversing with your other fraternity members, is there a sort of conversation happening right now where cultural community is sort of thinking to, I mean, as you rightly said in the initial, in the initial conversation that we were having, that, we don't have arsenal of weaponry, we don't have nukes, we don't have weapons, but we have the cultural legacy. What is the cultural community's response to the crisis right now in Ukraine? I mean, have you been thinking about it?
Скажи, будь ласка, що наш видатний, давай,
Yeah, it's important. It's everybody from Europe asking us how is to be in war for composer, and it's it's wrong because we are not composers. Now we are not composers, researchers. We are just humans. During the war, you can be man, woman, kids, and you are victim. You are the target. You are the target for the soldiers. You have nobody. All our European friends, I don't know, Paris, Vienna, Poland, London, everybody proposing now for us artistic residence, pay program, stipendia, but
we don't need
it. We are not artists. Our goals now is to protect our country. We can, we are not soldiers, but we're trying to do something to help with humanitarian, to provide some products for our army and so on. So this is war is reality. Our war is and these war crimes is the reality where art didn't exist. This is a place of crime. This is a place where the big crime against humanity is happened, and art can do really can do nothing.
Every morning we have dream, go to Kyiv and attack our life, our mind, our thing, and when war is starting.
When just after the first airstrike attack on the Kyiv, you are no more composer, you are no more singer, you are no more theater maker or actors. You are just or soldiers or civilians or victims and a target for Russian.
But now in Kyiv, we have famous Ukrainian composers, and now Святослав Луньов, like this, for example, Святослав Луньов, він пішов, скажи, в тероборону і зараз охороняє міст з автоматом, блядь, композитор з автоматом.
Yeah, all our artist friends are doing now in Kyiv something, or they are soldiers with the guns who has preliminary experience, or they are making, or they are cooking food for the soldiers and for the not for the soldiers, but there are also now a lot of the, I don't know, folks army. They are not soldiers, but just the people. So I don't know, when Putin now come to Ukraine in Kyiv, he will facing a gun from literally every window. This is our resistance.
It's not a locally Ukraine crisis. It's not a Ukraine war. It's really. I think it's not local war. Yeah. I think it's.
Yeah. It's very big problem, because now, of course, we are very grateful. Europe support us now. But even 1 month before, a lot of big politicians, they trying to speak with the dictator, and we give this warning to Europe some 2014. After 2014, we say that Russia is the fascist power, and it's impossible to make dialogue with dictators. And a lot of our friends in Austria, in Germany, they still believe, they want to speak with Putin like he's a European man and use legacy and use diplomacy, all the things but this is impossible because he is really fascistic, absolutely crazy, and I don't know, crazy psychopath with this nuclear power button.
Ilya and Roman, I also want to know this whole crisis. I know the kind of the magnitude that we are seeing right now is very different. But the tensions between Ukraine and Russia is not a new thing. Even during the 2013 the Maidan uprising also had a lot of conversations around the same issue. Even Chervona Ruta, for instance, is such an iconic symbol for Ukrainians across Europe. And I know how the Ruta festival has suddenly become this one platform where so many Ukrainians across the globe sort of relate to. My question is, I know I completely understand that, at this moment, an artist is not who I would like to speak to, but the humans. I completely agree. But were there conversations within the community? Were you talking about a possible attack in the future? Were there any sort of preparedness in terms of what is going to come? I mean, this is probably the worst case scenario. Had you ever envisaged something of this sort might unfold in the near future? Say back in 2013 during the Maidan attack?
Да, я відповім. Ми знали, що таке буде відбуватись. На тому рівні, на якому воно зараз відбувалось, ми знали, що дуже-дуже багато років, десятки років після закінчення війни ми не зможемо з нацистами спілкуватись, з тими, хто робив геноцид українського народу. Це було місяць назад, 2 місяці назад, рік назад, 7 років назад. Тобто ми знали, що буде така дуже сильна важкість у діалозі. А зараз діалог на сторіччя нереальний. От скажи, що зараз уже нереально. Дивись, не Путін, а any Russian people. Все, для нас це просто закрита тема. Ну, особисто для мене це все. Тобто ти розумієш, що вони всі зомбовані, не зомбовані, вони всі соучасники. Все.
So Roman said that yes, there always were attention, and that we felt that dialogue is difficult for now. Yeah, it may be not possible, and we see that it can happen, something like happening now. But for now, we see that this dialogue not possible for 100 years more. Yeah, so now the topic is closed. Yeah, with what is happening today.
It's important to understand that we has a lot of, I can say it now, the Russian genocide on Ukrainian territory. So just in the 20th century, we have a red terror, something that happened in 1918, 1920, 1921. It was an independent Ukrainian country, and it was ended with the red terror. So this war, this genocide by Russia against Ukraine, it's not a new thing. It's something that repeated himself. So now the difference with the previous genocide is that now we have the support of the whole world, and so I think that we just must win. It's impossible for us to go back. We must win for freedom and for Ukraine, even for Russia and even for Belarus, which is also ruled by terrible, absolutely and crazy Putin servant, this dictator Lukashenko. This is absolutely so. This is our fight. 2 big dictatorships, Putin and the smaller one, Lukashenko, but also son of a bitch.
War is, I mean, it's a universal phenomenon, and we have seen in so many chapters in the history, wherever there has been war, there has been a huge change of what it was and what it led to, be it Germany, be it India, colonization, wherever the colonizations have happened, in South Africa, civil war in the US, wars have had a metamorphosing kind of an effect on various aspects of a certain region, be it the physical aspects, be it the political aspect, be it the cultural aspect, education, society, infrastructure. As people who have had, I know that you guys have founded the Opera Aperta in Kyiv, and it was, a cultural institution for a long time in Kyiv. Now, all these efforts that you were sort of making Kyiv this cultural, hub, with this kind of a situation, what kind of uncertainty, is there hope? Is there likelihood of a better future? Do you think there are ways in which, I know that Olga was saying that the conversation has now, it's over. But what about you guys? What do you think of future? Is it completely dark? Or you're looking at ways of making a better future for your family, your friends, your fraternity, yourselves?
Ну, кажу, що є різні історії, там і Індія, і колонізація, і завжди були війни, і це завжди мало там великий вплив на історію, на культуру, на освіту. І ви там працюєте останні роки, опера Аперти, створювали там культурний Київ, але які там ваші зараз надії, або яким ви бачите майбутнє, там, чи позитивним, чи негативним, там, для своїх родин, тобто як ви зараз вбачаєте майбутнє?
I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea how long time it's going on. Very pessimistic, very pessimistic.
Okay, I think we all have a hope, and we will have a bright future. But the saddest that we are now paying a very, very sad and big price for that. We paying with the blood of our people and with blood of our earth and our cities and our childrens and our men and women. This is very hard, but we will win. Truth and God is with us.